19-year-old Rebekah Simpson says the years of abuse she suffered at the hands of her stepfather largely took place just a few miles along the Banff coast from here. James Freeman started sexually assaulting her when she was just 10 years old. Earlier this month at the High Court in Aberdeen, the 49-year-old was found guilty of tying up, blindfolding and raping her on various occasions.
I tried to say no, I tried to stop him, but I couldn't move my arms were tied above my head. My mum got home a short time after that happened, and my sisters came home, and it was again like nothing had happened. Almost every single day it would be a case of something would happen, but the severe things that he would do were when no one was around. So he could make sure that I wasn't able to get help. I wasn't able to tell anybody.
The abuse continued until Rebekah reported it to the police when she was 15, but feeling under pressure, she later retracted her statement and ended up alone in a care home.
Anyone that knew James would never have thought of him to be a man like that. He never came across in any way troubled or dark in that sense. He used to go to the church with my mum and my sisters, and he would sing the hymns and he would pray with people, and everybody loved him. He had so many people that loved him and backed him up.
Eventually, Rebekah went back to the police and Freeman was put on trial. But she says the trauma of giving evidence in court became too much.
I had to leave halfway through the prosecution's questions alone because he kept asking me questions like, did you say no? And if I said no, he would say, well, did you try and stop him? No. Why not? Because I was a child.
Rape Crisis Scotland say trials involving sexual offences need to be reviewed.
What we need is a system that responds much more effectively. The delays in the system, particularly since COVID, can be absolutely horrendous. We speak to rape survivors who have been waiting 2 years or longer for their case to get to court. I think we also need to look at what happens in court, and particularly the questions that people are asked in court, which can feel really quite violating and humiliating.
James Freeman was remanded in custody pending sentencing next month. He was told to expect a substantial term in jail.
What were your feelings when you heard about the guilty verdict?
I was hoping that it would get to this stage, but at the same time, part of me was hoping that it would help. It would take it away. It doesn't take it away. It doesn't stop the fact that it happened, and doesn't give me the life that I lost back.
Our hearts go out to Rebekah. It's such bravery she's shown in not only disclosing the abuse happened in the first place, but going through all the court process and sharing her story now with the public. It's so important that she did that, because it will have a really positive effect. It will make sure people know that they're not alone, that they can come forward.
Rebekah says she now feels like a huge weight has been lifted from her shoulders and is trying to rebuild her life.
That it's difficult, but in the end it is kind of worth it. To get that message out there and to tell people what's happened to you, it is worth it in the end.
Sharon Donaldson, STV News.